This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and in this video we're going to check out the Pakt Stash Packable Sling 4-liter, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So the primary material on this sling is recycled nylon. As you can see, we have a bit of a ripstop texture there. I really like how this one feels. It feels just kind of almost broken in, not like in a bad way. It's just like it's almost like soft, almost like a 90s starter jacket that's been worn like a lot and just is kind of conforms to whatever you want it to. So that is good and bad. This is a packable sling, so obviously it makes it easier to pack it. But if you have a bunch of heavy gear like on one side of it, it's going to make it just like sag a little bit. So depending on what you're used to from a sling, you might like or dislike that. But at the time of writing, I'm going to check my notes here to make sure I don't get these wrong. Is a sumac, which is orange, Mojave, which is brown, cypress, which is green, and then black, which is black, the one that you're seeing here. Colorway options. I really like some of the more colorful options that are out there, but black is just very simple and just kind of looks nice. We have a nice little logo here on the bottom left that says Pakt. Can't really see it from even up close unless you know where it is. So happy with how it looks. We've got YKK zippers, easy to open and close. Really no complaints there. It's YKK. You know what you're getting. You have a little zipper garage on the front pocket there. I really like these pulls. It's a little paracord-like material, and then you have heat shrunk plastic on the end. So it's really easy to grab onto, open and close, even if it gets wet or something like that. The hardware is from NIFCO. As you can see there, it's a pretty big buckle. I really like how it is attached right next to the sling here, so it's never really gonna get, if you're wearing this in your front, like your backpack's not gonna be on it or anything like that. Just good placement, and overall, I do like these buckles. I don't have a ton of experience with NIFCO, but I can't really complain about them. They have done the job very well. This adjuster is very easy to use too. So on the top here, you can almost like not see it if you're not paying attention to it. There is a little handle right here, so you can grab it like this. If you want to, you can start to kind of see those sagging materials, how it's kind of bowing there in the middle. I like this material because it's a 4-liter sling. You don't really need a ton of padding or aeration or anything like that. So if you were to have this completely packed out and carry it like this, it's gonna dig into like the corners of your hands a little bit. But overall, I can't really complain too much. It's pretty comfortable and it gets the job done, and it's a sling, so you're not really gonna be carrying it by that way anyways. You're gonna be carrying it by the strap. So the harness system on this bag is very simple. There really isn't a ton going on. This is the back panel. There really isn't much of a back panel here. It's just the same ripstop material. It's very thin, so whatever you stow in the back pocket kind of becomes the back panel. So you gotta kind of think about that when you're packing stuff inside of here. No padding, no aeration or anything like that. I do think this material does pretty well, even if you're wearing like a thin shirt or tank top or something like that. This material is not very abrasive, so it's gonna be pretty comfortable. But if you have something odd stowed in the back, or like you're using this kind of as a bag to walk around all day and you buy something kind of strange, like if you bought like a little teacup or something and the handle was poking out, it's gonna be a little bit uncomfortable. But you can kind of get around that by packing something kind of rigid in the back panel, which I have here right now. There's a Kindle back there, which you'll see in a little bit. So the strap doesn't have any padding or aeration either, but I do like how wide it is. You can't remove it, as you can see, so it's just kind of on there. You can't change it out or anything like that, but this is pretty wide, so it does a good job of kind of dispensing is the wrong word, like dispersing the weight when you're wearing it. Again, 4 liters, you can't get a ton of stuff inside of here. It might dig in a little bit, especially if you are wearing a tank top. So this material is not gonna feel weird on you, but this might dig in a tiny bit if you're wearing a tank top, or even if you were shirtless or something like that. It might dig in a little bit if you have a ton of weight in here, but I never had that problem. I could just see it being a problem because there is, as I said, no padding and no aeration. But overall, pretty happy with this. As I mentioned earlier, if you're wearing this on your front with a backpack, the placement of this makes it so you can wear it without the buckle like digging into you, and that's kind of a nice feature for travel, because a lot of times when we're traveling, going to the airport and stuff like that, you have your backpack on, or if you're walking through the city, you have your sling on the front and the backpack on the back, and it's not going to dig in, and that's a really big perk for me. Not as much adjustment opportunities because there is just the one adjuster, but I'm pretty happy with it. If you're finding this video helpful, make sure you throw a like on the video, drop a comment down below about what you would use this packable sling for, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So as you can see, I have it on how I typically wore it. I like wearing slings on my front because I have better access to the gear that is stowed inside of them. That's typically why I wear a sling, is to get to my gear. So I do wear it a little bit tighter than most people probably do. Just, I don't know, it's a personal thing. I wear my bags cycling a lot, and it just doesn't jumble around so much if I have it a little bit tighter, but it's comfortable. If you have it a little bit lower as well, it's very hard for me to adjust this thing when I have it on how I like wearing it. So right now I can't really adjust it very easily when it's on my front, but I can pretty easily transition to back carry. Sorry if I'm hitting the mic there, I'm really trying not to. And then when I have it like this, I can more easily adjust it while I'm wearing it. Obviously I'm on camera right now, so it's not gonna be as easy as it should be, but there we go. It's pretty easy to adjust and then bring it back to the front how I like to carry it. So overall, pretty comfortable. As I mentioned, as long as you pack smart and have something in that back panel area that's flat, it's gonna kind of sit on your back nicely, and it's gonna be pretty comfortable. So we only have 2 compartments to work with. I'm actually gonna start with the main compartment because you stow the packable sling. This is the packable sling into the front compartment, so I wanna be able to do that after I get all of the stuff out of the main compartment. So the main compartment has a bit of a wider opening, pretty easy to get inside of here, opens pretty nicely. Just got a nice big Anchor, or I guess not Anchor, Soundcore by Anchor speaker stowed inside of here that I've been testing. My chum's Surf Shorts wallet. And then in this front zippered pocket here, I have my sunglasses and my wired headphones. Yes, I'm still using wired headphones in 2025. It's just how I feel comfortable. And on the back wall here, I have a Kindle. So typically I try to stow my phone here. I have my phone in this front pocket right now just because I was using my phone more frequently. And as you can see here, there is I guess you can't see, there is a magnetic topper here, and because this Kindle is a little bit too tall, I can't close that magnetic topper right now. So if I pop this out, you can see and maybe hear that that is a magnetic topper. It does a pretty good job of keeping it closed, but obviously if you put something in between the magnets, it's not going to do that anymore. So this is one of these smaller Kindle devices. So if you have a very small tablet or your phone or something like that, it's going to fit there and it's still going to be able to close. But if you don't, if you have something larger, it's not going to be able to do that, which I think is, I don't want to say it's a flaw, because I don't know that it was necessarily designed to be able to hold something that big. And the Kindle does still fit there, you just can't close it. And it's not going to come flying out. There's not enough room for it to come flying out while you're in transit. Just something to think about. So my thing I like about this sling is because it is a packable sling, I feel like it's supposed to be more versatile than a standard sling because you're going to pack it places and take it places. This is a versatile main compartment. There are 2 places where you can stow gear. You have this back wall here and then the zipper compartment to lock things down, and a key leash inside of there as well to attach your keys if you want. Metal clip, which I do like. So you have that, but then most of this space is just open area. So I was able to fit my case Nintendo Switch in here. It just barely fit inside of here. This is still the Nintendo Switch 1. I have not been able to upgrade yet before you ask. I can fit a big pair of headphones inside of here. Obviously these are separate. I can't fit them both at the same time. But you can fit some pretty large gear inside of here, and that makes it more versatile for me because I can put a bunch of different stuff inside of here, whereas if there was a bunch of organization in here, I probably wouldn't be able to fit my Nintendo Switch because the organization would take up space. You get what I'm saying. So I'm very happy with this main compartment, especially because this is a packable sling and I can take it anywhere. So onto this front compartment here, I just have my phone stowed inside of that front pocket right now. You could fit something larger in here. Obviously, this entire sling fits inside of here, and my phone is smaller than this sling. So you could fit like a packable rain jacket or something like that. Just anything kind of flat makes a little bit more sense here because this is going to be the front of the sling, at least for appearances, because whatever you stow inside of here is going to be maybe a little bit, I don't want to say lumpy or whatever. If you were to stow like something like this in this front pocket, it's just you're going to be able to see it a little bit more. It's going to be, I guess, is a bad example because this does have rounded edges, but you get what I mean. Whatever you put here might bulge out a little bit, especially if you have this main compartment completely full, because this wall is pretty flimsy, so it allows some just interplay between the 2 pockets. So just be cautious of what you're putting here is basically what I'm saying. There's no organization inside of here except for there is 1 loop inside of here, which is going to be hard for me to find. Here we go. 1 little loop right there, and not really useful when you're just in pocket mode because I don't know what you're going to really attach to that, maybe a carabiner or something like that. But all of this packs into this pocket. So the way I like to do it is typically when I'm using a packable sling, the thing that trips me up most is the strap. If you try to do the strap last, you're going to have more problems. So I typically kind of just put this strap all in together like that. So that way when I'm going to pack it, it is one of the first things going into that pocket there. And then I'm just going to pack it up like this. It's not a super hard sling to pack. And typically when something packable isn't very hard to pack, it's not the most efficient packable thing, if that makes sense. But this is pretty small, it's not tiny, and you can compress it some more. So if you're going to put this inside of your travel backpack or your rolling luggage or something like that, just put it under something heavy and you're going to save a little bit more space. But as I said, it's not super tiny, but it is easier to pack, and I do like finding a happy medium between those 2 things. Some of the hardest things to pack are obviously going to be really small, but this is pretty big. No really complaints about it, but if you're looking for something super tiny and lightweight, this probably isn't the best move. But you do have the little tab on the outside so you can hang it on stuff, attach it inside your bag with a carabiner or something like that. Not, as I said, not super useful when it's inside of the pocket, but when you have it like this, it is pretty helpful. So I like how this thing looks. I like how it performs. It might not be for you if you're looking for something super lightweight or something with more structure, but overall happy with the materials, how it looks, and what I'm able to fit inside. So there you have it, the Pakt Stash Packable Sling 4-liter. Thanks for keeping it to your pack hacker. You're going to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.